Steps in business registration, DTI or SEC registration. Register your business name with DTI or SEC to make sure it's unique and protected. Barangay clearance. Go to your barangay hall to register your business. This is a basic requirement with a small fee. Next, mayor's permit, local government permit. Apply at the city or municipal hall for a business permit to legally operate in your area. Next, BIR registration. Register with the Bureau of Internal Revenue to get your tax identification number and be allowed to issue official receipts. Next, SSS registration. Register your business and employees with the Social Security System for employee benefits. Next, DOLE registration. Required if you have 5 or more employees to ensure labor rights compliance. Next, PhilHealth registration. Register to provide health benefits to their employees. Next, electric utility connection. Apply for electricity services like Meralco or local providers in non-Metro Manila areas. Next, water service connection. Register with Manila Water or LWA depending on your location. Next, telephone internet connection. Apply for service with providers like PLDT, Smart, or Globe. Other agencies if needed, depending on your business type. Next, locational clearance needed for new businesses or if changing your business address. Lease contract or ownership proof if renting, lease contract plus mayor's permit or of landlord. Next, if owned, copy of title, TCT, or tax declaration. Next, DTI business name registration for sole proprietors, SEC registration for corporations or partnerships. Barangay clearance from the barangay where your business is located. Public liability insurance required for safety and legal coverage. Financial statement or BIR income tax return needed for renewals only. Next, community tax certificate or cedula. Type A and B for sole proprietors, C and C1 for corporations. Next, special permits depend on your business type. Next, locational clearance before building. Lot owners planning to build a structure, tenants planning to renovate a building or unit, and their requirements will be completed building permit application form must be fully filled out. Next, 5 signed and sealed architectural plans prepared by a licensed architecture. Next, barangay clearance from the local barangay, copy of land title, TCT, proof of property ownership. Next, latest real property tax receipt to show updated tax payment. Next, floor area ratio or FAR computation. Required if there's a floor area limit, notarized authorization letter if someone else is processing the permit for you. Important rules when choosing a business name. Your proposed business name must not, number 1, be immoral, offensive, or scandalous. Next, describe or imply the product or services directly. Next, be already registered as a trademark or business name. Be dangerous to national security. Be made up of generic terms. Include government-related names. Use country or international organization names unless authorized. Next, be prohibited by court or government order. Use the name of another person without consent. And lastly, be misleading or deceptive about your business activity. And about business types comparison. Number 1, sole proprietorship is owned by one person, registered at DTI with full control and unlimited liability. The owner provides the capital, keeps all profits, and the business ends when the owner dies. A partnership is owned by 2 or more people registered at SEC and has shared capital and profit. General partners manage to have unlimited liability, while limited partners only invest. Next, a corporation is owned by at least 5 shareholders registered at SEC and has limited liability. It can exist even if owner change. And profits are shared through dividends. An OPC is a one-man person corporation with limited liability, also registered at SEC. The owner keeps all profits and names a nominee for succession. A cooperative is owned by at least 15 members registered at CDA, and profits are shared based on member participation. It also has limited liability. Number 2, general versus limited partner. A general partner manages a business and has unlimited liability. A limited partner only invests money and is liable only up to the investment. Next, number 3, partnership versus joint venture. A partnership is a long-term and general business. A joint venture is a temporary and for a specific project. Both involve shared ownership and profit. Next, number 4, BMB, Barangay Micro Business Enterprise. Benefits include tax exemption, easier loans, and less government fees. And not qualified are large companies, professionals like doctors and lawyers. And to register, apply at DTI for BMB certificate, then update registration with BIR. Next, about the Pepsi Cola case. Offer versus advertisement. An offer is a clear, definite, and intentional proposal to be bound by contract once accepted. An advertisement, on the other hand, is usually considered an invitation to make an offer, not a binding promise. In the Pepsi Cola case, Pepsi launched a promotional campaign where bottle caps had winning numbers with cash prizes. One cap showed a winning number that was not part of the official list due to computer error. Thousands of people claimed the prizes. The court ruled the campaign was an advertisement, not a valid offer, since there was no intention to be bound to pay every order on the misprinted cap. It wasn't legally binding offer. This shows not all promotional ads are offered, especially when key terms are missing or unclear. Next, the marketing communication mix. Number 1, advertising. Number 2, sales promotion. Number 3, public relations and publicity. Number 3, personal selling. Next, direct and interactive marketing. And for the product pricing, for both food and non-food starts with variable and fixed cost. Then non-food only has markup of 30%, while food products has a markup of 100% with a 30% buffer.
So here's a tutorial on how to compute non-food. So first we list down the variable cost. Which is, this only example, which is cost of goods, production time, packaging, and promotion. Example, the cost of goods is 5,000. Production time would be 3,000. Packaging would be 2,000. And the promotion materials will be 5,000. Wait, our non-food product could be hand sanitizer, which is 100 pieces. The next step will be add all the variable cost, which is 5,000 plus 3,000, 3,000 plus 2,000, and then 5,000, and equivalent to 15,000. The next step will be 15,000 divided by the pieces of hand sanitizer. So 15,000 divided by 100 pieces equals to 150. next step will be computing fixed cost. Example of fixed cost could be fixed cost of labor, rental, and utilities. For the cost of labor will be 10,000. For rental, 15,000. The utilities will be 10,000. Add all the fixed costs, and it is equivalent to 35,000. So your production could be 1 month. So next step will be 35,000 divided by 30 days. 35,000 divided by 30 is equivalent to 1,166.6. And after computing it, 1,166.6 divided by the pieces, which is 100 pieces. So the equivalent of 1,166 divided by 100 is equals to 11.66 or 11.7. After getting the fixed cost, add the variable cost and fixed cost. So 150 plus 11.7 is equal to 161.7. But there will always be a markup equivalent to 30%. So 161.7 times 0.30% equals to 161.7 times 0.30 is equals to 48.51 buffer. I mean markup 30%. So the total of variable cost and fixed cost plus the markup 30% is equivalent to 161.7 plus 48.51 equals 210. But wait, there's always a 12% tax. So next is $210 plus 12% tax. It will 210 times 0.12 to get the tax. $210 times 0.12 is equals to 25.2. The last step will be 210 plus 25.2 is equals to 235.2. Or your selling price will be 240 depending on your profit margin. profit margin. So guys, this is an example on how to compute food. So we will make cupcakes, 100 pieces, and our variable cost will be cost of goods is equals to 5,000, production 5,000, and packaging 2,000. So we will add all of the variable cost and it will come up to 12,000. And next step will be variable cost, which is 12,000 is divided by the pieces of cupcakes, which is 100. After computing it, it will come up to 120. So the next step will be fixed cost. So our labor is 20,000, utilities 10,000, and rent 20,000. And that's the same as variable cost. We will add all of the fixed costs, which is equals to 40,000. And the production of cupcakes is 30 days. So we will need to divide it by the fixed cost. So 40,000 divided by 30 days is equals to 40,000 divided by 30 equals to 1,333.3. And the next step will be 1,333.3 divided by the pieces of cupcake. So 100 is equals to 13.33. And the next step will be variable cost plus fixed cost. So variable cost, which is 120, and the fixed cost is 13.33 rather, is equals to 133. And there's always a markup in food, which is 100%. So 133.33 plus 100% is equals to 266.66 or 267. After computing it, there's a 30% buffer, so 267 plus 30% is equals to 267 times 0.30 equals to 80.1. So we will add 237, the total, and the 30% buffer. So 267 plus 80.1 is equivalent to 347.1. But that is not the last step. There is a 12% tax. So 347 plus 12% tax is equals to 41.65 or 41.7. We'll add 347 plus 41.7, which is the tax, is equals to 2,000 388 or 389. You round off and your selling price could be 390 or 400 pesos. That is how to compute food. Going back in non-food. So this is how you compute ROI. So after computing variable cost and fixed cost, we will get 150 plus 11.7, totaling 161.7. So 161.7 times the markup, so 161.7 times 30% is equals to 48.51. So that's our markup. So, and how to compute ROI. So example, your investment totaling 1 million pesos. So we will get the ROI. So 1 million divided by your markup. So 48.51. And we will get and we will get 20,614.30. You will need to sell sanitizer 20,614 to get your ROI. And that's all on how to compute ROI. Good luck.